Well, joining us on the news to discuss this is a professor of comparative politics at the University of Kyiv, Mohyla. That is Professor Oleksiy Haran, and it joins me from Kyiv in Ukraine. Thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you. Thank you for invitation, for your report. It's correct and it reflects the situation. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, how did Ukrainians perceive and express their sentiments during the Independence Day celebrations this year, given the ongoing conflict?
Well, it's because of the threat of bombardments, so it's not possible to organize some huge events. But nevertheless, people were in national shirts on the streets. They came to the center of Kyiv, to center of other cities. There were some cultural actions as well. Poets were reading their verses, their poems. There are art exhibitions. Everything has the tint of the war. We definitely we cannot ignore the war, but at the same time we believe in future. So Ukrainians remain optimistic about the future of the country because we are on the right side of history. If I can make comparison, African countries, they fought for their independence from colonial empires. We were part of the Russian Empire, which tried to destroy the very Ukrainian identity. And now, Putin would like to revive this colonial empire. We Ukrainians, we do not want it, and we are fighting for our independence. So it's not about territories, because very often you may see, well, it's about territories. Oh no, it's existential. It's the war of survival of the nation of Ukrainian identity, because Putin is saying very bluntly that there's no Ukrainian identity. So I do not exist in Putin's eyes. So we are part of great Russian people, Russian people who are killing civilians every day in Ukraine. So they would like to destroy Ukrainians. They are very clear about that.
But does it feel like a stab in the back that the Russian President Vladimir Putin would hold discussions with the US President on how to end the war, and it would still send in missiles into Ukraine? Or is it the president of Ukraine that has not done enough to end this crisis with Russia?
Well, the connection is not very good, but look, so this is what Putin is doing right now. He's saying, I'm for peace, but he declined several times to have a ceasefire, okay? So what he is doing, actually, he's saying, well, we shouldn't sign a ceasefire. We should sign a deal immediately. And he puts conditions that we cannot accept. For example, the conditions that we should recognize the occupied territories as Russian territories, okay? So we are ready for ceasefire, okay? It would mean that ceasefire would be along the the conflict would be frozen along the front line. For us, it's very painful because it means that de facto the occupied territories so far remain under Russian control. But we are ready for that, to do that, despite the fact that this is very painful. But definitely we will not recognize that this is part of Russia. That's clear. And Putin, so he's putting these conditions, and at the same time, he's continuing bombardments. He doesn't want ceasefire. He do not want to stop bombardments because he uses it as a tool in order to press not only Ukrainians, but actually to blackmail the other countries which are criticizing Russia or supporting Ukraine.
Okay, so how do Ukrainians generally view their current leadership regarding the handling of the conflict and efforts to secure peace?
How Ukrainians see Ukrainian leadership?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, look, we do not have possibility to have elections during the war, so elections are postponed, but Ukrainians agree with this. And we would like to have elections, but when the war ends, so Ukrainian president, Ukrainian parliament, according to Ukrainian constitution, remain legitimate. How do we view what Zelensky is doing? Well, there's a lot of criticism. You know, we remain a democratic country despite the martial law. You know, so we have freedom of expression, we can do that. But at the same time, we support president in fighting Russia, and also we support his diplomacy to stop Russian aggression. And at the same time, we need to understand that this is two-way road. So not only Ukrainians are supporting president, whatever we feel about Zelensky, okay, you may be critical about him, but he's a leader right now, he's commander-in-chief. But at the same time, Zelensky relies on Ukrainians, first of all on the heroism of Ukrainian army, but also on civilian Ukrainians who are living in this situation under bombardments, but who do not want to cede Ukrainian territory to Russia. That's very important, that in our situation, president needs also to listen to what people are saying. Actually, without that, you know, he would not be able to continue to lead the country.
So in terms of listening to what the people are saying, what is it that the people want that you believe can bring about lasting peace between Ukraine and Russia?
Well, as I have said, you know, we are doing polls. So not only us are doing polls, also other think tanks. So, and basically the results coincide, as I have said to you, that Ukrainians, definitely people are tired of the war, definitely. It's the fourth year of the war, unprecedented war in Europe since World War II. But Ukrainians do not want to give up our sovereignty and territorial integrity. I have already actually explained that people would support the ceasefire, even painful ceasefire, but people will not support giving up territory to Russia or even withdrawing Ukrainian army from the territories which are not occupied by Russia. Because what Russia is saying, look, this is so cynical. They're saying, okay, we may make a peace, but you need to withdraw from the territories which we do not control. Doesn't it look crazy? So Russians do not want to withdraw themselves, but they demand for Ukrainians to withdraw from Ukrainian territory. That's what Putin is saying. So he's not ready. And the only way, I think, we shouldn't beg, Mr. Putin, please have a ceasefire, please stop bombarding. There should be a pressure. There should be pressure. And the pressure could be done, first of all, by sanctions, and secondly, by military support to Ukraine, because we need weapons, not to attack, we need weapons to defend. Unfortunately, Putin understands the logic of force. So that's why we need to strengthen Ukrainian possibilities to continue defend itself.
Well, let's hope that the Ukrainian president will be able to get the much needed support in finance and weaponry to continue to fence off the Russian aggression. Thank you so much, Professor Oleksiy Haran, for sharing your thoughts with us on the news.
Thank you.